It's 2 for Tuesday. Roll that video. Is that better? I think so. Whew, what a mess. Okay, 2 for Tuesday. Lightroom number 1, Photoshop number 2. So that's our 2 for Tuesday. I'm going to show you how I took a picture. I took it from the inside and I took it through a window, all kinds. I had no filters. And there was all kinds of glare, reflections in the window, and I'm going to get rid of all that. We're going to straighten it out. We're going to edit it in Lightroom. Now we're going to bring it into Photoshop. That's number 2. Edit in Photoshop. Then I'm going to bring it back into Lightroom, back to number 1. So there's kind of a 1, 2, 3. So 3 for Tuesday. This doesn't even work. But 2 for Tuesday, good enough. Lightroom, Photoshop, back into Lightroom. Let's get to it. Roll the video.
Okay guys, so we have my image that I took. Now I was at work, sitting at my cubicle. I seen this beautiful sunrise. I got out my camera super quick, went over to the window. There is, as you can see, all kinds of reflections. Let's take a look here. As you can see, all kinds of reflections, like here, up over here. You can see actually the blinds that were being reflected back as I pulled the blinds back to try to take the picture. I have these discolorations down here on the church cross. This was actually very, very crooked. Well, it was crooked enough anyway, but it's basically things that I'm gonna have to fix. So we're gonna start off in Lightroom. Now let's undo all of this. Certainly don't need that. And let's get to it. All right, so in the develop mode. Now the first thing I'm gonna do to this specific image, obviously, is crop it, because obviously I'm not gonna be using all of it. And I typically go in my 4x5, probably gonna be putting this in probably going to be posting this in Instagram, so 4x5 will work. So I'm going to get right off the edge here, so I'm completely missing the building over here, maybe even a little less. Somewhere around there should be good. Let's straighten that out according to this building here. Okay, we're done. So this is basic image we're gonna get, right?
Okay guys, so we're gonna start in Lightroom, and I'm gonna go into the basic panel, and we're gonna make some general adjustments on the image, and straighten it out. We're gonna do our best to crop it, straighten it, and get everything ready. Once everything's ready, then we're going to get it over into Photoshop, where we're going to deal with the reflections, the discolorations of the image, and try to fix that. All right, let's get to it.
So in the basic panel, now if you don't know, I like to work only with the develop panel. So I shift tab, that'll get rid of everything, and then I come over here to my develop, click on it once, and now I have this, and I have the image as close as possible. Okay, so first and foremost, let's take a look up here, and we got decent exposure, and we can play with the highlights and whites, and we'll fix that. I don't really need to touch the exposure at the moment, so let's go straight into the whites. We're gonna alt click on the whites. So you see there's one point there that's actually clipping. I don't mind that, just keep going. I want the rest of it to be white. Probably go a little bit too far. Let's keep it around there. So you see that white that clipping is right there. I think I'm going to leave that there. It's not distracting. No troubles at all. Okay. So it's good. Let's check out in the shadows. You see we're losing a lot of detail in the shadows here. Okay, so from there, let's take the shadows up. Oh, look at that. I don't mind that. Let's take a look. See, I got a little bit of detail. Got a light in here. Got some detail on the ground in there. I'm not losing a lot of detail in the shadows, right? Yeah, barely a detail there, but good. I don't mind.
Just a quick tip, guys. When it comes to sliders, I don't want you to worry about where you start. Where you start or what slider you start with is really not important. It's really you and it's your preferences, okay? So if I start with exposure or if I start with whites or blacks, shadows, highlights, that's me. You do not have to follow me. You have to find what you prefer, how you prefer to work. This is just one way. Don't forget, you're the artist of your images and you decide. So don't worry, get in there, start with whatever you feel you need to start with, and then go from there. All right? All right, let's get back to it.
Let's see if we can bring these highlights down a bit. Let's make that sky a little bluer. We don't want it too much. Yeah, that's good. Okay. That's good for now. Let's take a look. We're going to add a little bit of clarity here, and we're going to look. Mostly where we're going to be looking is, you notice here. See the windows and right? Well, watch. Right? We'll booting up the clarity. You see all the detail that we're getting in these, and in the building itself as well. All right, so let's take a look overall. Okay. Yeah, I don't mind that around there. Let's see what the dehaze does. Although the dehaze brings out the reflections, I don't mind that, because when I bring it into Photoshop, you're going to see that I'm going to get rid of all those reflections and I'm going to replace it with what's next to it. Okay, so that's good. Let's go in the lens correction panel and see if that's going to give us... See, that brightens up our image. We're going to get even more detail in the shadows here. And yeah, you know what? It's actually straightened some lines out here. So I like the way that is. I'm going to leave it in place. And I think that's all we're going to touch for the moment until we bring it into Photoshop. In Photoshop, one very simple goal, we want to make it a uniform sky. So we're going to get rid of the reflections. We're going to get rid of the discoloration at the bottom on the church. And we're going to make sure that everything is clean. So when we bring it back into Lightroom, into the dealing with the contrast, HSL panels, etc., everything's clean and smooth. All right, let's get to it. First step, we're going to go to the healing brush tool. Okay, why the healing brush tool? Well, the first thing I want to do is I want to sample from an area that I wish to copy from here, right? Okay, so let's make our brush, it's a decent size. So I'm going to take a little bit from here, I'm going to take a little bit from here, and I'm going to try to merge the two, right? So we press the Alt to choose, we click it from there, and we come over here, and we just make a quick click. Same thing over here, okay, a little bit, take a little bit from here, coming out. So there we've pretty much gotten rid of it all. You want to verify this, you can come in a little closer, move it around. Do you see anything? Inspect? No, I'm good. Okay, so over here, same thing. Choose it from here, get rid of it over there. Choose it from here, get rid of it over there. Over there a little bit more. Gone, and it's nice and smooth throughout. Don't forget, if you take it from only one place, if you're only taking it from this side, then you're copying from this side over, and you're probably going to get a little bit too dark. You'll notice that gradates from blue all the way to this white right here, right? So you want to keep that. Now, if you need to shrink your brush a bit, if you're getting in close to these buildings, no worries. Might take a little longer, but you'll get it done just the same, okay? Okay, done. Same thing over here. I'll try to... done. Taking care of the sky here and the reflections up above. Okay, so the first part is done. Reflections in the sky. Everything seems to be okay. We're going to deal with that discoloration down near and on the church because I want to keep that area of the picture. I don't want to get rid of it. I like that church. It definitely adds to the photograph. Okay, so now I've filled the screen with this discoloration, which is basically a reflection on the window that I shot through. So what we're going to do is just going to choose this, and we're going to try to, rather we're going to select this, not choose it, and then we're going to try to change the color, brightness, contrast, etc., to try and come as close as possible to what's behind it. So this part of the, so all this brick here, this green roof, etc. Okay. Myself, I prefer the magnetic lasso. Some people like the pen tool. They'll go through it. I mean, in this case, to be quite honest with you, I'm not really going to need it to be super accurate. I just needed a quick, all right. Then we just link these up right here, boom, and there are. Next step is we're going to do Control-Alt-J, make a new layer, and this is, we'll call it discolored. Alright, so what that gives us is a layer of this, right? Okay, so it's pretty simple. Leave it in normal. I choose everything. I'm in the move tool here, so I just hit the arrow to the right, hit it back to the left. It's in the same position, and I've re-chosen, because what I want to do is I want to go back to my background. Okay, I want to just do delete, leave it as white, boom, it's done. Okay, so if I get rid of this, it's actually just white. If I keep it there, it's out. All right, so now I can work on this in camera raw filter. I prefer it that way. If I'm changing anything in here, I'm changing it here, and it's gonna show on the original image. Have to do a few little adjustments here, some blending it a little bit better, but the rest of it, as you can see, is pretty much gone, and I've blended it in from a distance. You're not really going to notice much. It's a little darker on the bottom than it is on the top. Once I fix this, I'll bring it back into Lightroom, and then we're going to deal with everything else, and we're going to finalize our image. So give it a moment, and we're going to do just that. Good. So I think we're good here. Most of the reflections here and here, discolorations are gone. So that is good. I've gotten rid of most of the discoloration. Evened everything out. No more reflections. Should be good to go. So super simple. We click on save. It saves it back where? Of course, it saves it right back into here, where the original image is. So that was the original image. This is what we've saved. And let's take a look at this and see. You know, I like the way it's straight up here. Let's take a look at tone curve. And what I'd like to do is just real quick do a medium, do strong. Let me see, strong is way too strong. And medium. Now medium gets rid of most of the detail and the shadows here. I still barely have a little bit, but I kind of like the way it makes the building pop against the sky. I'm going to go into HSL panel now. This is where saturation, okay, well that does it, guys. So this is our final image. And if we take the reference, this is actually the original image. Let's light that out. This is where we started, and this is where we came. All this shooting through a window, which obviously lessens the quality of the image a great deal, but even still, not too bad. Not too bad at all. Well, that's it, guys. Thanks so much for watching. You know what? We're going to have more like this. Actually, I'm working on a series of basic Lightroom tutorials. I'm going to go panel by panel within Lightroom and explain it, what their function is, how to use it. Hopefully it'll come in handy. Anyway, again, thanks so much for watching. You guys have an amazing week, and I will see you in the next video. Oh, and don't forget to like this video, share to your friends, and subscribe. Absolutely free to subscribe to a YouTube channel. Thanks, guys. Take care. take my shower, okay?